Welcome in to the morning edition. I'm Adelmi Ruiz coming to you from Alaska's news source. Sorry about that, my microphone was off, but now it is on, so we're ready to get started. Starting us off, we have meteorologist Aaron Morrison, who's going to give us a breakdown over what our day is going to look like and our weather. Aaron.
Yeah, Delmy, we're talking about heavy snowfall that's been gripping areas of the Panhandle. This is video coming in from Hoonah. Thanks to Eliana Elliott for sending in this photo, and a really good description for what she describes with this video when she says, if the cold doesn't whisper, it slams. This is a barge off in the distance, and you can see snow covered, freezing spray covered as that freezing spray continues to accumulate from those gusty winds that we're seeing out towards southeast Alaska. Fairly quiet across mainland Alaska. We do have that active weather as several areas of low pressure remain in the Gulf Coast region, and that's going to continue to lead to additional snowfall for southeast. And you can see ongoing snow for the northern and central Panhandle, and snow today will come in waves. So we'll see heavier bursts of snowfall and then a lot lighter activity, and then another burst of heavier snowfall. So this will come in waves throughout today and into your New Year's Eve. You can already see some storm reports to the north where we've seen upwards of about 2 to 3 feet of snowfall accumulation, storm total, while locations to the south, which have been sitting up under heavy rainfall, have been dealing with some flooding concerns. So far with this storm total across the Panhandle, we've seen areas through Haines, anywhere from about 43 to 47 inches of snowfall accumulation. Juneau, particularly out towards North Douglas, has seen 28 inches of snow or 26 inches of snow accumulation, while Hyder has seen just under 3 feet of that snowfall. And again, we are going to continue to favor ongoing heavy snowfall. We've been first alerting you through the weekend and yesterday to these impacts, and these will continue. We'll see an additional about 1 to 2 feet of snowfall leading up to the new year. Of course, we'll see the potential for about 10 to 12 inches today for areas to the north, while ongoing rain continues to grip areas of the southern Panhandle where we do manage to warm into the 40s and the 50s. So this active weather stays with us. Notice through the evening hours, or at least the evening commute, we could see up to about 10 inches of snowfall accumulation, and then that will continue to add on as we welcome in your New Year's Eve and then on into New Year's Day. So between now and New Year's Eve, we could see the potential for up to 2 feet of snow accumulation. And as of this morning, December is officially the snowiest snowiest December on record for Juneau, where we've seen over 60 inches of snowfall for this month. So we've got snow to the north, while ongoing rain continues to grip areas to the south. Now, this that you're seeing is going to be snow accumulation, but as you head south of Sitka, we're going to see that potential for about 1 to 2 inches of additional accumulation. That will add on to those flooding reports that we've already seen. We did see reports out towards Thorn Bay that the water was increasing over those roadways, and then out towards Ward Lake area in Ketchikan, we did see some of those rising waters, which led to some minor flooding. So that will still be with us, even though that flood advisory has been allowed to expire. You can see again, leading up to the new year, about 1 to 2 feet of snow possible, and then we'll continue to see ongoing snow showers as we welcome in next year, with highs staying in the upper 20s and lower 30s.
All right, thank you, Aaron. An Alaskan veteran who fought for the U.S. and more recently Ukraine was killed in battle. Growing up in Anchorage, Richard Kaplan said his stepson embraced the outdoors and his big family, fulfilling his dream of military service. Sean David McVeigh joined the U.S. Army in 2010, serving 2 tours in Afghanistan. Upon returning to Anchorage, he worked for the Municipal Parks Department while battling PTSD. In the midst of loss, Kaplan said McVeigh couldn't stand by after Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Boy, he always thought about others. He was concerned about people's safety, about protecting them, his sisters, everybody around him. Sean always just pulled through, strength and courage and perseverance.
McVeigh was injured in 2024, leading to a cancer diagnosis that likely stemmed from an IED wound in Afghanistan, but he beat the disease and returned to fight.
He said, my mission's not done. I have to go back. My teammates are there, and people are dying needlessly, and I need to fight for them.
McVeigh is survived by his father, 5 sisters, and 2 brothers, his father now living in Florida. But they said the family hopes to return to Alaska sometime this summer to hold a memorial and spread McVeigh's ashes. A situation turned nearly fatal on the slopes of Mount Denali. 2 local climbers say they know what it's like when North America's tallest peak forces you to retreat. Dalton Borden and Lane Christensen say that building a shelter may have saved their lives when a windstorm hit with little warning. The 2 say they started their Mount Denali climb on December 16th in the dead of winter. The climbers recall winds reaching 60 miles an hour with gusts hitting 90. Without shelter, they could have died from hypothermia. In a quick decision, the duo built a snow shelter.
Conversations, just because it's in times like that, you can't really have, arguments or conversations, just because it's kind of a matter of life and death, and it needs to just happen. So we built the whole, it was probably a half-person snow cave. We placed our sleds over the roof and then our skis over the roof to use for support, and piled snow on top.
They huddled inside for over 15 hours. The UAA students were attempting what only a handful of climbers have ever tried, but the storm soaked their gear and they turned around. Borden says they learned hard lessons: build a shelter earlier and protect gear better. Christensen and Dalton hope to try again, but we'll see what the future holds. And the cold is intense in the interior, and while Alaskans and many know how to keep warm, sometimes the heating in your home just can't keep up. Adrian Peterson spoke to local professionals about how people can prepare their homes and what they should do once it warms up.
Here at the University of Alaska, it's about 25 below, but down in the valley, you can see the inversion layer where homes are exposed to 40 below temperatures. According to Prospector Plumbing and Heating in Fairbanks, they have had their workers out on calls almost around the clock as homes in the area have faced heating issues with the extreme cold. While some residents may try to remedy their issues using online tips and advice from neighbors, technicians say homeowners should only follow the advice of certified technicians. That advice includes a focus on preventative maintenance before deep freeze hits in the winter. Even here at the University of Alaska, where it's above the inversion layer, homes are still struggling to keep their pipes from freezing.
We tune and clean the boiler. We also look at a lot of the near boiler deficiencies that we recommend addressing. Maybe these things will work when it's 30 degrees or 0 degrees, but when it's negative 30 degrees and your system's been working that hard for 2 weeks straight, it's possible it's going to fail at those temperatures. So preventative maintenance is huge for your boiler and your heating infrastructure, even for your plumbing.
Smith says it's also important to get maintenance done after a deep freeze like we've seen here in the interior, where those boilers and heating systems have been working on overdrive. He recommends getting that done in February or March, depending on conditions. Adrian Peterson, Alaska's news source. Here at the University.
And with these dangerous temperatures, drivers can also find themselves stranded, cars frozen in place.
So you plug into it, you go in for bed, you come out the next morning, your car's froze up. Happens all the time.
Steve Martin, owner of X-Ray Motors in Fairbanks, says he gets calls every day from stranded drivers, battery frozen, engine seized. He says some simple checks at the start of the day can help prevent a number of issues, including making sure the oil isn't leaking, putting air into tires deflated by the cold, and making sure your plugged-in car is actually getting electricity. And he says a good battery is a must.
If the battery is 5 years old, it generally is not going to get it through the next winter.
Martin also recommends starting your car every day, even if it's plugged in, not letting it sit for multiple days. Alaskans, especially in rural Alaska, get health care, saying earlier that a massive federal investment could do that.
This is going to enable significant improvements to life and safety in rural Alaska.
Alaska is set to receive about $1.4 billion over 5 years, making it the second highest recipient nationally. State leaders say the money will target expanding both primary and specialty care, rural hospitals, technology upgrades, including telehealth, and growing the rural health workforce. But the state has some work to do first. The state legislature must establish how the money will be distributed during the upcoming session. They say they will start holding meetings in mid-January. Leaders were clear this has nothing to do with the Affordable Care Act, with subsidies expiring soon for some Alaskans. They say this would build infrastructure, not insurance subsidies.
Miles with no roads.
In times like that, you can't.
When communities are separated by hundreds of miles with no road system, extreme weather is a constant factor, and many of us have experienced this even recently. Limited infrastructure presents its challenges. Doing things the usual way here in Alaska simply is not an option.
We need to do more when it comes to just modernizing our facilities, modernizing the way we are reaching out to those in need of access to care, whether it is health IT systems or whether it's just making sure that there is access in a way that is meaningful to people in more remote and isolated areas.
One of the questions they'll have to work through: how will this work with the tribes? And a man accused of planting bombs on the eve of January 6th says he wanted to target political parties. Bombs were found outside of both the DNC and RNC on January 6th in 2021. Alaska's News Source's Washington correspondent Brendan Cullerton has a story from the nation's capital.
Brian Cole initially told the Justice Department he was not responsible for placing pipe bombs outside the DNC and RNC, but he did confess after investigators showed him this video, which shows a hooded figure believed to be Cole carrying a bag near those buildings. According to court documents, Cole says he was not targeting Congress, but instead political parties because he believed they are, quote, in charge. Cole says he was disillusioned with the results of the 2020 presidential election and wanted to speak up for those who believe it was stolen. Neither pipe bomb actually exploded, but the Justice Department argues Cole wanted them to and should remain in jail pending his trial. Authorities arrested Cole on December 4th at his home in Virginia, following their 5-year investigation. Investigators say they found shopping bags full of materials used to make bombs. Cole is set to appear in Washington, D.C. federal court on Tuesday. In Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
2 men were caught on video getting way too close to an eruption at Hawaii's Kilauea volcano. Experts say the trespassers' actions were not only a disrespectful violation of the rules, but also dangerous and unnecessary. The V1 camera at Kilauea caught 2 trespassers 11 Tuesday night during the 39th episode of Kilauea's ongoing eruption. One of them is seen throwing a shaka at the live stream cam, which is located in an area close to the public along Halima-Uma'u crater's northwest rim. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory told us there were no USGS scientists or other authorized personnel in the area at the time. And in New York City's harbor, Ellis Island welcomed around 12 million immigrants during the nearly 60 years it was operational. A pillar of our nation's immigration history, a symbol of the American dream. This week on Listening to America, Alaska's News Source's senior national correspondent Peter Zampa travels to the national park that's still standing as a tribute to our past and the present.
1892 to 1954. But perhaps more importantly, a beacon of hope for millions of people around the world.
For the most part, this is exactly what it would have looked like if you had been here at Ellis Island over 100 years ago.
Matt Hush is the museum curator.
Immigration is such a deeply personal story for people and also such a significant story for our nation.
During the early 1900s, a vast majority of migrants flowed through these halls. in search of a new life.
Until you arrived here at Ellis Island, you had to come knock on the door of the United States and ask.
This was a growing nation in need of labor. After presenting documents and passing a medical exam, the pursuit of the American dream began.
It's the idea that I can make a better life in this place that's also steeped in these ideas, these ideals that I might really appreciate too. You know, the United States was unique in this way. They built a statue to liberty that I passed by on a steamship when I came into the harbor.
Like much of U.S. history, anti-immigration voices were present during Ellis Island's peak.
And not just we don't want immigrants, we don't want a certain type of immigrants. So there's this question of who are you? What is your story? Are you like me? Do we want you in the United States? And eventually they succeed in passing a number of laws that restricts immigration and ultimately involves the closure of Ellis Island. Like there are 12 steamships waiting in the harbor. There's 12,000 people waiting to be processed. You can only do 5,000 a day here. The challenge is how do we welcome people who are not like us? How do we get over those biases?
Hush doesn't specify how many American stories run through Ellis Island. He simply says millions upon millions. This monument and museum stand as tributes to the critical role people from abroad played in the success story of this country and what they went through to get here.
You need to show people you can work and that you have money, and yet you also might have lost some of the money aboard the ship. We are not a nation of these particular people. We're a nation of people who have all come from somewhere else, and we came together to do this very important thing, America.
The U.S. still welcomes more immigrants than any other nation on the planet, even as laws change from administration to administration. Now, despite calls to restrict immigration throughout history, the fact stands. This is a nation built by people coming from far and wide, searching for the best life possible in a nation full of opportunity and promise. I'm Peter Zampa, listening to America.
And it's almost the new year, which means it's time to start thinking about how to prepare for 2026 financially. And in this Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Rachel DePompa catches up with an expert to get some advice for those New Year's financial resolutions.
To start off 2026 on the right foot, you need to examine where you currently are financially. And Kiani Epps with the popular YouTube channel The Responsible Homegirl says, do not be afraid of your number, whether that's how much you owe or how much you make. She says numbers can cause anxiety and shame and even embarrassment. Don't let them. Face your finances.
Once you get a clear picture of where you currently are, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. Like you can look at where you currently are right now. And then the second thing is make plans for where you want to go. So if I'm looking at my finances and I'm like, okay, I have way too much debt and not enough savings, that is a clear indicator of something that I can work on.
She says it's better to have specific goals than just random goals of saving, say, $10,000, because you might actually continue to follow these resolutions into the new year with a more specific goal. Epps says the next task is to really ask yourself, what are some things that I am willing to do differently this year to actually make this goal a reality?
What are some things that I don't mind sacrificing on to make these goals a reality? Because sometimes we have to go through a sacrifice season where we can't do all of the same things if we want to be in a better place financially. And then the last thing that I would suggest is just starting today. So no matter where you are right now, start today.
Don't wait on the calendar change or wait on getting a new job. Epps says start your new goals right away. Make them a way of life, something that you live and breathe to better your financial situation. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
He's embracing a second chance at life after receiving a heart transplant. Now he's also honoring the donor's legacy. Alaska's News Source's Brian Mastre shares the story of resilience, gratitude, and a new beginning, providing it's never too late to follow your heart.
In the Midwest, motorcycle rides come with a shelf life.
I have no thoughts other than what's around my surroundings.
The control belongs to the change of seasons.
Nature, the noise, the sound, the motorcycle, the birds you can hear.
As Jerry Walters collides with the air he breathes, he knows how fragile life is.
I hadn't ridden for 2 years.
He retired as an auto mechanic.
I have my peace with God when I'm riding. That's where I make my peace.
And now works at Nebraska Medicine.
This is a left ventricle assist device.
If the heart gets out of rhythm, the device sends a high-energy shock to the system. That's why he quit riding his Harley for 2 years.
I got home one time on a motorcycle from work. Thank God I just pulled in the garage, put the kickstand on, started off, my ICD fired. Shocked me. An ICD shock would send me to the ground. I mean, had I been riding on a motorcycle 2 minutes earlier, I'd been going 50 miles an hour on a highway.
His first-hand knowledge led this patient to fill a gap.
Morning, Bob. My name is Jerry. I'm a mobility aide here at the hospital. I'd like to get you up to go for a walk.
Helping others navigate the medicine and mortality when your heart is nearing the end.
He takes the time to get to know them, to figure out what they're anxious about, and share his own experiences with them to help them, understand that there is another side.
The learning curve was about to skyrocket. He needed a new heart, and one soon became available.
When you have things happen to you, you make it a point to learn everything you can about it.
What went through your head when you got that call?
I cried. It's happiness, but then sadness knowing someone died in order for me to get it.
Transplant rules don't allow a patient to contact the donor's family for a year. Turns out the donor's family also wanted to meet Jerry.
Did you worry that every time you saw Jerry, you would think of your son?
The first time we met him, he was letting everybody listen to his heart, and I couldn't do it.
That's understandable. Tanya and Tim's son died in a crash in southern Iowa, August 2021. Brandon Hatfield was just 28. 3 days later, his heart beat inside Jerry.
I was third in line for the heart, believe it or not. It's the first individual had a fever, could not be operated on. Second individual refused it. And then it came to me. And I'm thinking, he crashed on a motorcycle, and did God intervene on this one?
Jerry Walters considers Brandon's family a part of his. For example, here's the joy from a niece and nephew of Brandon's visiting Omaha as they checked out the zoo.
What did you think when you heard Jerry was going back to school?
Thought he was crazy.
If you make a cross-section of that.
Jerry Walters, who is 70, never stops learning.
Does it fill the field of view?
Yeah.
He enrolled in the nursing program at Metro Community College. In anatomy class, he's surrounded by youngsters.
They see somebody of my age coming in, and they probably wonder, what am I doing here?
It's actually been kind of fun because in this quarter, we talked about the cardiovascular system, see how his is working and compare it to average younger individuals.
Why did you want to be an RN?
Because I want to do that so I can get on the transplant coordination team to see the patients from the beginning.
In order to work the transplant floor, he needs to be a registered nurse.
So how old will you be when you're an RN?
72.
How does that sound?
Fine with me. 72 is just a number for me. I feel like I'm 50.
In a way, Brandon Hatfield, the original owner of the heart, is still riding.
Okay, now we're going to move on to a story of vision beyond sight. A legally blind baseball coach is changing lives one swing at a time. But there's a real masterclass as an outlook on facing life's curveballs. Reporter Clayton Collier introduces us.
Just north of Omaha, in the neighborhood of Ponca Hills, you won't find a baseball diamond, but there are endless pearls of wisdom that begin at the driveway.
The smooth, straight pass seldom leads anywhere. Goes past hitting, kind of like life's lessons.
Inside this barn-turned batting cage, a quaint and cluttered love letter to the game. Many of the state's best hitters go to learn from Mark Wetzel.
Nice.
He's a great coach. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's like he's the best hitting coach I've ever had.
He knows everything about the swing.
I mean, the results speak for themselves.
You would never know.
I'm legally blind, I have macular degeneration of the retina.
Growing up, Mark was obsessed with baseball.
I wanted to be Mickey Mantle and played a lot of ball.
His condition forced him to quit the game when he was just 14.
I think at first I was pretty upset. I couldn't play ball anymore.
But Mark wasn't ready to give up his passion for hitting.
I was looking for something to do, something I could do and be good at. Who in the world would ever guessed I would be good at teach you how to hit a moving baseball? But when I found out I could be good at it, then I really took it and ran with it.
It's turned into a 40-year career.
I should be able to tell when the ball hit the bat.
Spanning from teaching young boys and girls to minor league hitting gigs and brushes with some of the game's greatest, including Albert Pujols and a decades-long friendship with Tony Gwynn.
If you saw me in a grocery store or in a restaurant with my wife, you wouldn't bring your boy here to hit with me.
It is 12:53 p.m.
I can't find my food on my plate sometimes. When I go out in that cage, I see 20/20 as far as I'm concerned.
So how does he do it? Well, Mark has some peripheral vision.
I think he's starting to get it.
But straight ahead is where the real magic happens.
I can see that profile against that wall. I can see any kind of movement, the slightest bit of movement, or excess energy or tightness or weight shift.
A phenomenon you have to see to believe.
People are like, how is that possible? Like, there's no way that he can be as good as another hitting coach if he can't see. So I just kind of explain it to them and just tell them, like, yeah, he can't see it, but he puts the pieces together.
Some might even say he has eyes in the back of his head.
He's looking at the other cage and he tells me what's wrong with my swing. It's insane. But
how does he do that?
No clue. He's always right, but I've no clue.
Connor Gersh is a second-generation student of Mark's. His father, former Nebraska outfielder Andy Gersh, first went to blind guy hitting almost 25 years ago.
It takes me back. It's like time traveling. Even from the drive up, reminds me of driving up here with my dad. For him to overcome his seeing situation and to be able to turn it into something incredible just tells you a lot about him and his ability to persevere.
Mark's walls are littered with memorabilia and motivation. His lessons and his story are about so much more than baseball.
It really shows the saying of don't judge a book by its cover.
Even if it's outside your comfort zone, and even if it may be a little weird, try it and see if it fits for you.
You should at least give everybody a chance because it could be one of the best things that ever happens to you, as it was for me.
Mark met a bump in the road and kept going. Now he's paved the way for thousands of young athletes to see things a little differently.
It's almost a blessing. I don't know. I always thought when it happened, I thought, well, someday I'll win the lottery. It's going to be a payback here somehow. Well, I think I'm already living it. Doing what I love to do, being around great people, great kids.
New Year's Eve is right around the corner, and the city of Houston is the only area in South Central Alaska where lighting fireworks is legal. Ahead of the festivities, Jace Bertrand spoke with firefighters to learn how you can ring in the new year while staying safe.
It's the perfect time to light up that dark Alaska sky and celebrate with a bang.
It's a special tradition that only comes once a year. While Alaskans spend most of the winter enjoying the beauty of the auroras, this Wednesday will see fireworks light up the sky over Houston.
We keep it legal in the city of Houston because fireworks are safe when used properly and when used in accordance with their actual manufacturer guidelines.
While dry conditions usually lead to certain types of fireworks being banned in Houston for the 4th of July, the winter season allows for a bigger show.
During the winter time, Roman candles are fine, the rockets are fine. The biggest thing is remembering that you are responsible for those fireworks when you shoot them off.
I've seen a lot of families and groups coming out, putting whole shows together. Everything from a show in the box where it's one light and it has anywhere from 9 to 100 plus shots going up to individual mortar or artillery shells.
Despite the eased restrictions, Houston Fire Chief Christian Hartley wants people to be aware of a few safety tips.
Do not shoot off fireworks anywhere closer than about 50 feet from the trees. And if they go into the trees, go over there and make sure that it didn't light anything on fire. Metal tip sparklers, the tips of them can burn at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's enough to weld with. That should not be in the hands of a child. There is nowhere in the Matsu Valley where it is legal to shoot off fireworks after 1 a.m. on New Year's.
There's nothing like putting some magic in the sky, putting smiles on kids' faces, really ringing in the new year with a bang. And we just ask everybody to celebrate responsibly, have fun, and be done by 1.
A few reminders to start the new year in a safe and exciting way. Jace Bertrand, Alaska's news source.
The perfect time to light up that dark Alaska sky and celebrate with a bang.
It's a special tradition that only comes once a year. While Alaskans spend most...
Sorry about that. If you want to catch the fireworks in Anchorage, they will be set off at 8 p.m. in downtown at 3rd Avenue and East Street. You can also see fireworks at 8 p.m. in Eagle River at Lions Park. It's 8 o'clock in Wasilla, as well as fireworks in Iditarod Park. And in Girdwood, Alyeska is doing its annual Torchlight Parade, followed by fireworks at 9 p.m. Moving on to the interior. In the interior, the University of Alaska Fairbanks will host the 36th annual Sparktacular, with fireworks being set off from UAF's West Ridge starting at 8 p.m. Also in Fairbanks at 9 o'clock, look for fireworks at the 8-Star Event Center. And in all cases, please dress for the weather. And in this case, that means cold. We'll keep you up to date on other displays as well. And that's it for the Morning Edition Extra for this Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for starting off your day with Alaska's news source. I'll see you again tomorrow for another Morning Edition Extra, and we'll see you again at 12 for the latest in news, weather, and more. Have a good day.